Whipped honey, also known as creamed honey, is finely crystallised so that it remains creamy and spreadable. Comb honey is honey that comes as it was produced in the honeybee's wax comb. You should always store honey at room temperature. If you store it in the fridge, it will crystallise. If that happens, simply place the honey jar in warm water and stir until the crystals dissolve. Or place the honey in a microwave-safe container with the lid off and microwave it, stirring every 30 seconds until the crystals dissolve.
What I'm going to do first of all, with a simple little dish here, actually caramelised pineapple with a lovely caramel sauce mixed with rum and a nice little honey cream. So first things first, our sauce. Now, I've got it on the go over here, first of all. In this pan, I've just got some caster sugar. Now, exactly the same way as making just a normal caramel sauce. Keep your eye on it when you are actually making a caramel sauce, though. If you do allow that sugar to go too dark, the sauce will become too bitter. So all I've done in here, I've just got a little bit of caster sugar. Now, all I've done is just take a plain pan, heavy base saucepan, get it nice and hot, pop the sugar in, and instantly you will end up with this caramel sauce that we've got in here. Now, make sure it's all dissolved like that, and you get that lovely colour. First of all, you can just take it to a slightly sort of darker brown than that. Anything more than that, like I said, it will go a little bit too bitter. So keep your eye on at that point. Now, the two other ingredients I'm going to pop into there are here. I'll put them on the board there so you can see them nicely. We've got a little bit of rum. Now, you could put some sort of coffee liqueur in there if you wanted to. Rum, brandy, whiskey, whatever you want to do. But rum and pineapple go superbly well together. And pineapple juice. I'm actually using fresh pineapple for this. If you are using tinned, keep the juice and you can use it. Alternatively, you can buy pineapple juice nowadays anyway. This is the bit that you've got to be careful of. Turn the heat down and add in cold liquid to hot sugar. You've got to be very, very careful. So I'll move that to one side and I'll actually add it in the centre of my stove there. Get it really, really hot and then just pop in your rum first of all. Flame it just a little bit. Flame the rum like that and straight away pop in the pineapple juice. There we go. Now, the bit that you have to be careful about is this. It will actually start spitting everywhere. But keep it on the heat. It's really important that you do keep it on the heat and allow that sugar to actually dissolve back into the liquid. So we can just mix all that lot together, allow it ticking away nicely over to one side. There we go. Move that to one side and get our pan hot here for our pineapple. Now, like I said, I'm using fresh pineapple. You can use tinned if you wanted to. Best thing though with tinned, if you are actually going to use it to pan fry, you really need to drain it off very, very well and get it off, all the moisture off with sort of a cloth or a little tea towel. We've got here some nice pineapple which I've just peeled. This is a small pineapple. It comes from sort of a pineapple this sort of size. Now, what I haven't done is actually taken the core out. You can do if you wanted to. You could actually just take an apple core and go right through the centre. But for this, I actually think, because you're cutting it nice and thin and you're going to cook it well, it doesn't really need to. You can actually leave the core in. So we just nice and thinly slice it. And like I said, if you're using tinned pineapple, they'll be a little thicker than these slices, but just cut them in half if you can do. Alternatively, you can do them in the same thickness as they come straight out the tin. Very, very hot pan now. You see our sauce is coming down nicely. Really, really hot pan for this. Get it nice and hot. Touch of butter, which we've got in here. A little bit of butter in there. Lovely and hot. And then instantly we just pop our pineapple pieces in the pan. There we go. Lay those all in. Now, there is some element of natural sugars that will start to caramelise that pineapple straight away. But just to help it along its way, move that to one side, I'm just going to add a touch of caster sugar. Just drizzle it all over the top like that. Keep your eye on it. It may dry out a little. If it does, take a little bit more butter. Put it in the pan. That's it. Shake it around. Now, it's really important that you get a nice colour on this, first of all. It's all about colour when you're actually doing this. You want the pineapple to caramelise. So just leave it on there till it starts to colour. That just looks to be about there. If I turn that piece over, you can see it now actually start to colour nicely. All right, keep it very, very, very hot. All right. I'm going to leave that on there just for a minute while I talk about my cream. Now, I've got in here just some double cream. You know, like I love double cream. Whipped up so it's nice and firm. Now, it's really important that when you do this, you get it nice and firm. You can see that I'm almost over whipping it. It doesn't go to butter, but you see that it's nice and thick. Now, when you get to that stage, we then take our honey. This is where the honey comes into the recipe. Take a good amount of our honey, about a couple of tablespoons. There we go. And you can mix this all together. This instantly makes like an ice cream, really. You can keep this really, really cold in the fridge and scoop this out onto like an apple pie if you wanted to. It's very, very easy, and that's all we need. Don't need any sugar in there. The honey's a natural sweetener. It goes perfectly well in there. All we then do is grab our pineapple. As you can see that, I'll just turn these over. There you go. You get that lovely caramelisation. That's what we're looking for. Fabulous. You just turn those all over. The natural sugar's in there. There we go. Pop all those over. That's all we need now. I'll tip this out onto a plate first before I actually plate it up. And then all we do is take our pineapple, like that, onto our plate first of all. You can, of course, if you were doing this for a dinner party, you can prepare this easily up in advance. You can put the pineapple on there. She's here.
How many times did you win Student of the Year award?
At college?
Yeah.
3 times.
Why?
3 years.
Why? Did you have a relation with your examiner?
I didn't. He was a big guy. Ken Allenson, no. Take your sauce. Now, you could, if you wanted to, put sultanas in there.
Oh, no.
Isn't that fabulous? Look at that.
You could. That's beautiful. No, this is grown-up. Sultanas is for children.
Homemade caramel sauce with rum. You've got that rum. You're still keeping the flavours with the pineapple as well. Now, before I give you a knife and fork and you can dive in, to finish it, you really need to get this cream really, really cold. And then what I use is just an ice cream scoop in a pan of hot water, really important, or you can use a tablespoon, exactly the same, pan of hot water, really, really cold cream. And just before you serve it, you scoop that on the top of there. Just allow it to melt, just to feel a bit poncy. Sprig of mint, delicious. If you missed any of that, here's how to do it. To make pan-fried pineapple with caramel sauce and honey cream, begin by making the sauce. Spread the sugar evenly over a base of a preheated, heavy-bottomed pan. When the sugar has turned to a medium caramel colour, add the pineapple juice and liqueur and stir well. To make the honey cream, whip the cream and stir in half the honey and chill. To make the pan-fried pineapple, heat the butter in a large frying pan until foaming. Add the pineapple rings and sprinkle with a little sugar. Fry them on both sides until nicely coloured. Fan the pineapple rings onto serving plates, spoon over the hot sauce.